Well, here we go again with another superhero show showing just how gritty being a superhero really is. Hello, my name is Charles and welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, hi, my name is Charles and yeah, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about the first season of the new show Invincible, which is now streaming on Amazon Prime. This show had a week-to-week release schedule and I said to myself, you ain't My Hero Academia, I am not doing this. So I was like, I'm going to wait until the 8th episode, which is the last episode, drops. And that happened last Friday, so I started to watch the show and I binged the show, I believe, in 3 days. So yeah, I'm here now to talk about it. Just saying there will be spoilers as I'm talking about this show, so if you haven't watched the show, then go watch it first before you watch this. But yeah, I'm just going to talk about what I thought about this show and, some of the interesting things that happened in it. So first off, I want to talk about the cast of the show, because the cast of the show is stellar. I mean, you have Steven Yeun leading the show, and you have Sandra Oh, you have J.K. Simmons, you have Zazie Beetz, you have Jillian Jacobs, you have Andrew Rannells, you have Zachary Quinto, you have Jason Mantzoukas, and you even have like guest spots from people like John Hamm, Seth Rogen, Jonathan Groff, Mahershala Ali, and oh wait, Walter Goggins is in this show too as one of the main characters, so that is a stellar cast. Everyone does a great job on the show with their voice acting, but Steven Yeun and J.K. Simmons, their voice acting on this show is phenomenal. It just blows everyone else out the water, and my god, those last few episodes of the show, both Steven and J.K. Simmons were in their bag. They were in their bag when they were filming that. I was like, wow. The voice acting was present. When it comes to the main characters of this show, I feel like all of them basically had a really good, fleshing out throughout the whole show. I mean, of course, the main character is Steven Yeun's Mark, and we get to follow him and his progression from getting his superpowers all the way into, seeing how hard being a superhero really is. But him and also J.K. Simmons, because J.K. Simmons' Omni-Man was a trip. From the very first episode, especially at the end of the first episode, I was like, where are we going with this? Because I feel like there's a lot being hidden, and they really don't reveal what like the twist of Omni-Man is until the very last two episodes, and I'm just like, baby, an arc. Other than Steven Yeun's Mark and J.K. Simmons' Omni-Man, I thought that Jillian Jacobs' Eve and also Zachary Quinto's Robot had a lot of character development on this show. I mean, these four characters are the ones where I'm like, y'all really had time to explore these characters and like see where they were gonna go and make them evolve. I mean, all the other characters on the show, like they were good, but I don't think they all got the time to be developed. But you know what? The show just got renewed for 2 more seasons, so I feel like we'll have more time to develop all the other characters in the show. But yeah, when it comes to like the best characters on the show, I'm like, it's Mark, Omni-Man, Eve, and Robot, because there was a lot more time to develop them. Okay, so now that I talked about like the cast and some of the characters in the show that I like, let's actually dive into the show itself and talk about what I thought was interesting. So we start the show off with, like an attack on the White House, and then you get to see this world's version of like the Justice League. Was it the Glow Protectors? Something like that. Something weird like that. But yeah, you get to see them, and you get to see Omni-Man, who apparently isn't a part of them, but is like their world Superman. And I was like, okay, interesting. And then we get introduced to Mark, who is someone who is supposed to be getting powers because he's the son of Omni-Man, but he hasn't received them yet. But yeah, this first episode really was just showing us who Mark is and him trying to become a hero just like his dad, since he gets his superpowers in this episode. But by the end of the episode, he's like, yes, I know how to use my powers somewhat, and I have my costume now. And I was like, good for you. And the name he came up with, Invincible, I was like, how do you know you're invincible? How do you know, Mark? At the end of the first episode, when Omni-Man kills like the pseudo Justice League in this show, I was gagged. I was like, first of all, the gore, the violence, they were not afraid. They were not afraid to show just exactly what happens. It's not so cutesy wootsy like, Marvel be showing you and other like superhero movies be showing you that are in theaters. Like, when it comes to like TV shows about superheroes these days, especially like on streaming services, I feel like they're able to really go there, and this show really went there with the violence and the gore. I was like, ooh, Omni-Man really is killing these people in very horrendous ways, and I was like, ugh, this is kind of too much. The thing is, with the violence and the gore in the show, it's not being violent and gory just for the sake of being violent and gory. It really serves a purpose just to show you how dangerous this kind of work is, and what actually happens when superheroes are fighting, because it's not so clean cut like with the Marvel movies are showing you, like there's like, I'm gonna hit them and all that, and they're just gonna fall down. No, like, if someone's superpowered, they're about to destroy people. Like, they're about to break in half, their hands about to go through their body, they're gonna split people in half, their heads be turning, blood is everywhere, intestines everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, this show kind of reminded me that Marvel is kind of like Princess Mononoke, in the sense that when violence happens in Princess Mononoke, no blood is spurting. Like, I really think about that scene in Princess Mononoke when Ashitaka like throws his arrow like flies and then it decapitates someone, but there's no blood gushing. And that's kind of what Marvel is, because like, all the people in Marvel be attacking people, and I'm like, y'all would be killing these people. Like, I know, especially people like Thor and all that, throwing those hammers and axes around, and Captain America with his shield, and Iron Man with his lasers. I'm like, there's no way that these things aren't killing people, like, piercing them, and blood is coming everywhere, and intestines flying everywhere. I mean, it's very unrealistic. And this show really just reminded me that, yeah, this is what would happen if superheroes actually were around. But yeah, when Omni-Man killed the Pseudo Justice League, I was like, you're the villain. You're the villain. And then I thought to myself, this is kind of like a dark Superman storyline because, Omni-Man seems to be like this world Superman, so it kind of is like a dark Superman storyline they're going with. The second episode really is just showing Mark having to actually deal with a crisis because, aliens are attacking Earth, and, his dad Omni-Man is out because he took damage while after, killing the Pseudo Justice League, so he's out. So Mark is like, I'll handle it, and, Mark is realizing this isn't as easy as I thought. People are really getting killed and I can't save everyone. And I was like, once again, showing the reality of how superhero work is actually going to go down. Mark meets like Eve and her whole team of people, the teen team. And I'm like, first of all, that's a stupid name. But second of all, I was like, after watching y'all, I feel like Eve is the only one who has the great power. I mean, multiplicate, whatever her name is. I was like, she's cool too, but the rate at which her like clones, her multiplied versions of herself were dying, I was like, girl, this whatever. I really could not believe at the end of this episode that, it's announced that the Pseudo Justice League in this world, I keep forgetting what they're called. Let me go look it up real fast. Okay, they're called the Guardians of the Globe, and that is so bad, just like Teen Team. But anyway, when it's announced that, they're dead and Omni-Man's just looking at the TV while he's hugging Mark and his wife, I'm just like, evil, because you are the one who killed them. With episode 3, when it opens up with the whole funeral for the Guardians of the Globe, I was like, Omni-Man, you're disgusting. You are disgusting being at this funeral, 2 funerals for them, and acting like, oh, I missed them, but it's like, no, bitch. You killed them, and whatever your reasoning is, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good. I thought it was interesting to see them basically, recast the Guardians of the Globe. They were like, we're holding audition. Anyone who has a superpower can audition to be in the new Guardians of the Globe. And I was like, is this how that works? Okay. And to know that it was run by the government, basically, I was like, this is kind of weird. But at the same time, I'm like, I guess whatever. But yeah, Mark was like, sorry, I can't be a part of this team because my dad said he's going to train me by himself, and also I'm busy. But I was like, Mark, you'd be flying around everywhere doing things. You were clearly not busy, and I'm pretty sure you're failing whatever grade of high school you're in, so baby, you could have joined this team if you wanted to, but you didn't. I cannot believe that Rexplode cheated on Eve with Multicate. I mean, disgusting behavior. And that leads to Eve not wanting to be on the new team of the Guardians of the Globe, and I was like, girl, she would have been the best member of that team, and y'all lost her because she was like, sorry, I don't want to be around these stupid bitches. Not only stupid, but backstabbing. Ooh, oh my god. I was like, girl, blast both of them. Also in this episode, Mark is trying to go out on a date with Amber. It's a study date, but it's a date nonetheless. And he's called away to go help Eve handle this thing at Mount Rushmore. And I cannot believe he left Amber in his room for an hour. I mean, that's horrible. I mean, could you not just say, sorry, I know you just got here, but I gotta go. Can we just meet up another time? It wouldn't be that hard to do, Mark. While all this is happening in episode 3, that red demon thing is like, Omni-Man. Omni-Man-Nolan seems to be the one who killed the Guardians of the Globe, so investigate further. There's always gotta be that one character in comic book stuff like this where they're like, I see the truth, but it seems like a conspiracy theory, but I'm gonna follow it down the rabbit hole and I'm gonna show y'all that I am right. And this red demon thing, I was like, baby, you're right. Episode 4, Mark is going to Mars to like oversee these people like doing stuff on Mars. But first of all, I want to say the day he goes on with Amber in that market, I was like, is this a Filipino market? I was like, work, because a lot of the stuff they were doing, I was like, yes. And also, I'm pretty sure Amber says that she went to the Philippines and that's how she had that dessert. I'm Filipino and I should know what it's called, but I'm blanking on what it's called right now. shame on me. But yeah, I was like, this is cute, this cute little date you guys are on. But yeah, Mark goes to Mars, and I was like, Martians, why y'all not being like, let's talk to the Martians who live here already? They knew there were Martians on this planet of Mars, so why didn't they be like, let's just contact them first and make sure it's okay that we're here? Or, Mark, when he was dozing off, I was like, baby, you are not doing a good job. And when his phone died, I was like, you left your phone on. And also, I was gonna say, how did he get reception? But I'm pretty sure he was just looking at his photos of him and Amber, so I was like, I guess, but why did you not turn your phone off? I know you fell asleep. At the same time, you should be conserving batteries, so that's on you, Mark. I think it's crazy how, the Martians kidnapped the astronauts that Mark was supposed to be protecting, and then when Mark found them, he was like, oh, can I have them back? And they were like, no, because there are these race of alien things that take over people's bodies, and, these people might be infected, so we have to kill all of them just to make sure that none of them have been taken over. And Mark was like, cool, cool, cool. And then he's just like, we're leaving. And I'm like, baby, you don't know if they're infected or not. You could be not only endangering these Martians, but you can be endangering like Earth. And at the end of this episode, when it showed that like one of the people was infected, but they weren't even a person, it was like a copy of them, I was like, Mark, we're gonna have to deal with this later on, aren't we? At the same time in this episode, Debbie is already realizing that, Nolan dash Omni-Man might not be so innocent after all, after, like her run-in with that Red Devil thing. And my mind's like, girl, you gotta trust your heart. But at the same time, she was like, even if you did do it, there has to be a good reason. And I was like, girl, that's what we all think. But if you were there, like us, watching it go down, I was like, whatever the reason is, it's not good. So we've reached episode 5 now, and this episode, it was just trying to show Mark balancing like his superhero life with his personal life. And my mind just said to me, you have been dating Amber for a while now, like a few months at this point. So why not just tell her you're invincible and get it over with? That way she doesn't have to wonder where you are. And it just drove me crazy. When Mark, teamed up with Mahershala Ali's like kind of criminal to take down the head criminal, the robot head guy, I was like, yes, because he has a family and he just needs to get out of this. But when I was proven wrong and he was like, no, I'm taking over this business now, I said, I'm gagged. I'm gagged and gooped, but at the same time, I can't be mad because that's a smart move to ensure that you and your family will, like, be safe and have power and money. So, can't be mad at the hustle, but at the same time, Omni-Man was kind of right. But at the same time, Debbie was right, being like, if you can help people, then help them. And I was like, exactly. But at the same time, like, what happened to Mark? Not. When that lion thing, like, smashed Mark in his stomach, I was like, baby, we are facing trauma and damage, and it's not cute. It's not cute to watch all that blood splatter around Mark as he's being like pummeled. Ugh. It's never easy every episode seeing Mark get beat up and blood splattering everywhere. It's just not. Also, I just want to say real fast that Eve's parents are shit. I mean, when they found out that Eve was cheated on by Rexplode, they were like, take him back, honey. And then her dad was like so close to being like, don't be such a bitch. And I was like, whoa. You're insane. I mean, I know they just want the best for their daughter, but they were just like, we want you to be married, have kids, and have a home. And I'm like, but what if she doesn't want any of that? You ever think about that, bitch? And oh my God, they were like, you can't take care of yourself, honey. And I'm like, when is this taking place? Because it's 2021. Women can do whatever they want by themselves. And also, Eve legit can control matter. So she can legit have anything she wants. So why y'all gagging? But yeah, this episode was a really good reminder to Mark that you should help people, especially the small people, because sometimes you don't pay attention to everything when you're trying to save a whole group of people, like millions of people, that sometimes the small people need help too. But at the same time, you got to be wary because some people are going to take advantage of you. And I was like, such a hard lesson. Okay, so in episode 6, I'm like, woo, we're going to college. And Mark's like, maybe I don't want to be a superhero anymore, just like Eve. And I'm like, yeah, superheroing is tiring, it's dangerous. And after you got fucked up in that last episode, I totally see why you don't want to be a superhero anymore. I think it was cute that William had his like kind of boyfriend Rick who was in college, and I was like, man, first of all, I did not know Andrew Rannells was the one voicing William for the longest time in the show until like a few episodes in, and then finding out that Jonathan Groff voiced Rick, I was like, ooh, two of my favorite white gays. Yes, people, yes. But yeah, that guy who was turning those guys into like those robot people, I was like, you are disgusting. This is crazy. And why don't you just fix yourself? Like, this is insane that you're doing that to these people. I mean, insanity. It was so heartbreaking to watch it happen throughout this whole episode that he was abducting these guys and like, taking their arms out and like taking their vocal cords out and like taking parts of their brain out. And I was like, this is disgusting to watch. Seeing Rick be abducted, and then, it turned out they were too late. I was like, wow, this show really is showing that sometimes you just can't save everyone. I mean, in a Marvel movie or a DC movie, even, they'd show the person being like strapped down, and then like the hero would get there just in time to save them. But in this show, they were like, no, you guys are too late. You're too late to save him. And, Mark was barely able to save William because, that guy started to saw into William's arm. And I was like, baby, this show is taking no like prisoners. It's like, baby, this is what's happening and get on board because this is what actually would happen. Once again, this episode just made me feel like, Mark, just tell Amber that you're invincible already. I mean, sure, he saw you on campus, and that would make you less like looking like a coward because you disappeared when that robot guy attacked like everyone, and of course you were there because you were invincible, but she didn't know that, and it was just like a whole thing where I'm like, you don't have to lie. If you really trust her and love her, just tell her already, god damn it. I think it was great when Debbie was snooping around trying to find Nolan's suit. I was like, girl, with the notes that red demon left you, you gotta figure this out because Nolan does not seem like, innocent at all. And I'm just like, baby, he has lost your trust. You gotta like get the proof and run, girl. When it was confirmed to her that yes, Omni-Man Dash Nolan did kill the Guardians because of the whole blood splattering and like when they land at the suit with the whole, time of the land of the suit, because the guy who made the suit can tell because the time the blood has been sitting there with oxygen, blah blah blah. But I was like, baby, there's no defense of him now unless he has a really good explanation to why he killed them. There's no defense of like what he did. When Omni-Man was floating outside of the clothes place that Debbie and the guy who makes superhero costumes were, I was like, he is gonna do something evil. I can just feel it. We're on episode 7 now, and this episode basically sees Mark trying to get advice from Eve, being like, what do I do? Because I just want to have a normal life with people, but at the same time, I feel like I should be helping people, and he's super conflicted with what he should do. And at the same time, Omni-Man's trying to find Mark, being like, I got to tell him what happened before anyone else does because it's complicated. And I'm like, guy, it doesn't seem so complicated. It seems like you're making it complicated. And when you told Debbie you wanted to tell her, and then she was like, well, just tell me. And he's like, you have to trust me. I'm like, baby, the lies that are going around with you, you seem more and more like a villain every single episode. The amount of energy that Cecil put into stopping Omni-Man from getting to Mark, so much energy. And I was like, he's gonna get to Mark eventually. I mean, I don't understand why you guys didn't teleport to Mark and Eve when they're on that waterfall, because y'all could have teleported then and then got them out, but you didn't, so that's on you. Oh yeah, at the start of this episode, Mark revealed to Amber that he is invincible, but she was like, yeah, I know, I kind of figured it out a little while ago, but the thing is, you lied to me. You could have told me at any time, but you didn't. You lied to me, and I could have been trusted, but you didn't trust me, and I was like, exactly, Mark. Exactly. This episode finally showed what Robot's been up to this whole season. I mean, for a minute there, I thought he was a villain himself. But no, he released those two evil twins. That way he can make a body for himself because his real body is, like, fucked up. So he was like, I need them to make me a real body used from the DNA I stole from Rexplode. That way I could be with Monster Girl. And I was like, okay, sure. At the end of the episode, when the immortal guy came back, I was like, Gagatrandra, oh my god, you're alive. And then when Omni-Man killed him again by like putting his hand through his stomach and then ripping him in half, I was like, ooh. But at least the immortal guy was able to get a few good punches in there and also like hurt his eyes. That way his eyes become bloodshot. And when that happened, I was like, ooh, you truly look like a villain now, Omni-Man. So we finally made it to the last episode, and I gotta say, this was insane. I mean, the whole thing with Omni-Man about his homeworld and how they like conquer people, I was like, oh, of course, something like that had to be the case. And then he was like, the reason why I kill the Guardians of the Glow is because we have to weaken the defense of each planet that we're taking over. And then once we've done that, we'll signal to like our ships to come over and like take over the planet. And I'm like, baby, I knew it was not good why he killed them. Knew it from the beginning. I was like, there is nothing like really defensible that could be said to defend why you killed these people. When Omni-Man said humans are worthless, and then when Mark was like, what about mom? And he was like, I think of her more as a pet. I was like, are you serious? disgusting. You need to be destroyed. Mind you, Debbie sees all this because of the cameras that, the government has put around, like, Mark and Omni-Man. So it was something that must have been really heartbreaking for her to hear, that her husband, the person that she's loved all this time, the person that she taught about humanity because he's from a different world, was basically like, yeah, I don't really care about her really at the end of the day because she's really just a pet to me. And oh my god, that was just so hard to hear. But yeah, when Omni-Man started beating the shit out of Mark, I was like, this is insane. And then, oh my god, the people who died in this episode, it was so hard to watch because there were blood and there was guts and there was body parts spilling everywhere. And oh my god, the sequence when Omni-Man held Mark up to that train, he was like, look at this bitch. And then basically the train went right they went right through the train as it was moving forward, and you get to see all the people being like killed and like being split into pieces and their blood and guts and eyeballs and brains and everything flying everywhere. I was like, the trauma, the trauma. If I was Mark, I don't know how I would deal with that. When they were on that mountaintop and Omni-Man was really, really beating the shit out of Mark, I was like, I can't believe you're doing this to your son. This is crazy. And then when Omni-Man said, I can just wait another 17 years and I'll have another son or child, I was like, you're a monster. You're a monster. As Omni-Man said, Mark is going to age slowly because, as Viltrumites get older, they start not looking older as they keep getting older. So basically, he's going to look 30 for like a long, 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 long time. So he was like, baby, your mom's going to die, your friend's going to die, everyone around you is going to be dead that you know. So why does it matter that we want to take over this world when all these people that you love are going to be dead? You're going to have no one. And then when Mark was like, through his like blood splattered face, was like, I'll have you, Dad, I was like, uh, it's nice knowing that, a little bit of humanity rubbed on Omni-Man because he couldn't kill Mark, and then he left, went to space crying, and I was like, but you're still a monster. You're still a monster for what you did to Mark, what you said about your wife Debbie, and what you did to those people. I mean, my God, not only did you kill the Guardians of the Globe, but you killed so many people in Chicago. I was like, how could you defend this planet for all those years and then just be like, yeah, these people ain't worth shit and I don't want to spend one more second on this stupid planet? I was like, oh my god, this is insane. But yeah, the end of this episode showing what's to come, all those other storylines that like didn't really get wrapped up, like the Mars alien things that like attacked the Martians, and also like those twins still being in jail, but they'll be back probably, and also like the guy who put people in those robot outfits. A lot of stuff like being shown at the very end of this episode, basically being like, there's a lot of things that are going to happen in season 2, so stick around, y'all, because it's about to get great. I'm glad that this show got renewed for season 2 and 3, and I cannot wait to see what they have in store next. I mean, I know I could always just read the comic books that they have to see what happens next, but I don't know if I want to spoil it because apparently they switched some things around that would have happened later in the show on season 1, but I'm just like, I don't know. Part of me is just like, maybe I'll just wait for the 2 seasons to drop. That way I can indulge this show and like this series that way. But I don't know. Maybe I might pick up the comics to read them, but we'll see. We'll see. Tell me down below in the comments if I should read the comics before like season 2 and 3 come out. But yeah, Invincible is an amazing show, and I cannot wait for season 2 and 3 to drop. I just think that this show really depicts how gritty and gross and violent superhero life really is. And yeah, if you haven't watched the show, go watch it because it deserves to be watched. But you're watching the spoiler review, so clearly you've watched it. But if you haven't watched it and you just watch this video anyway, go watch it because I didn't really cover everything that happens in every episode. I just talked about what I liked in every episode and wanted to talk about in every episode. Tell me down below in the comments what you thought about this show. I mean, this show is a success. I mean, look at the Rotten Tomato score. It's probably going to appear when I put the editing, but look at the Rotten Tomato score. It is amazing. Like, the critics and people love it. So yeah, I love this show. So tell me how much you love this show in the comments. If you like this video, why not go ahead and subscribe to my channel because, I talk about movies, I talk about Blu-rays, I do music reactions, and, I talk about TV shows from time to time when I finish a season of a TV show. So yeah, if any of that sounds interesting to you, then go subscribe to my channel because you know what? Why not? Why not? And also, you get to hear and see me. So, if that sounds interesting to you, then go ahead and subscribe as I just said. Thank you guys for coming to my channel and watching this whole spoiler review of the first season of Invincible. And yeah, I'll see you guys around in the next video if you're around for that one. So yes. Yeah, I'm gonna go now. So yes. Yep. Okay, yeah. Bye.